I've got Jeremy Burke here with me from Intuit, and Jeremy had just laid on us a great tip for bookkeepers and accountants to grow their business. And Jeremy, we're on to the second one here. So, what is the second reason why bookkeepers and accountants want to go to the cloud?
Well, thanks for asking. So I have another example, another firm actually locally here in Edmonton. So this was a very large, successful firm. So sometimes when you talk to accountants and bookkeepers, they go, well, why the cloud? And they already might be successful. And sometimes there's a trap of being successful. If you're making, millions of dollars a year as a firm, this particular firm that I'm going to tell you guys about has 25 staff. They've been in business for over 30 years. They're reputable. They do great work. Why would you want to sit there and take the time to learn about, $10 a month QuickBooks software and invest all that energy? It's kind of like moving the Titanic. So I met with this firm and I had that mindset. I understood that me talking about software is not going to really make a difference. So the impact of the cloud that I presented to this individual is that I knew that they had a great relationship with the University of Alberta and specifically dentists. So they happen to have this relationship so that when students graduate, they take them on a trip and they, wine and dine them there because they're smart about it. And they've been doing this for multiple years. They're smart that they know that when a person graduates from dental school, they will generally work maybe with somebody else, but within 5 years, they'll go start their own firm or to go and start their own dental practice. Now, a dental practice is probably about $1 million a startup. There's a lot of equipment, a lot of technology investments, a lot of staff investments. It's not a cheap undertaking. So they do a good job in helping them out. So the idea that I proposed to this large accounting firm, I said, hey, since you have such a great lockdown on these dental clients, they might be charging $8,000 to $10,000 a year for services to these clients there, which for the work they do, which is a lot, is very valuable. However, what I suggested, I said, hey, the average the average dental office has probably 2 or 3 administrative staff. And in Edmonton specifically, when we're having this conversation, things were really good. The average person could probably be about $50,000 plus a year. So if you're paying for 3 dental staff and you're paying $50,000 a year, it's $150,000 a year as an expense to the dental office. Now, makes sense because a dentist doesn't want to be doing their own min work. You want them in basically working on some teeth there because they make several $100s an hour doing so. So what I said, though, is why don't you present to the idea of working in the cloud? There's benefits for the accountant firm to have access to real-time information so they could further dissect it and really provide some advisory services. But I know that there is 3 primary dental softwares on the market here in Canada that any dental office will use. So what you need is, I call it the Delta, where you have, say our product QuickBooks Online work in the cloud, connected so the data flows from, because all the billing in these dental things are usually direct billing, the insurance companies. So you need to take that information, put it into your books program, and then have a program like Enter My Invoice, where any bills and stuff like that coming through the business, basically you scan them through, run it through, and basically make quick work of entering your bills and expenses. Having those 3 products work together simultaneously in the cloud will save about 50% in administrative costs there. Now, the administrative cost is the 3 people that you're paying for. So now going from $150,000 a year down to half-time is about 1.5 people that can manage this using technology, which, maybe less than $100 a month there, you implementing that technology, and you've gotten rid of $75,000 in costs. So I said to the accounting firm, I said it had an individual, which I happen to know that could do this. I introduced them to the firm. So the accounting firm has the dental practices. They introduce this person that can integrate those 3 things. The dentist, when they're starting up the new firm for $1 million, now can only hire 1.5 staff. So right off the bat, they're saving $75,000 a year. However, for doing the introduction of this knowledge and implementing the right people in place, the firm can actually charge $50,000, because who would not want to pay $50,000 so automatically save $75,000 in your first year? Now, every year after that, you're going to continue to save $75,000. So you charge a one-time implementation fee of 50 grand. You still charge your $8,000 to $10,000 in services. As the accountant and bookkeeper, you have real-time information. You can have a better relationship with your client, and the dental office is running much smoother. So that is just another way that the cloud, beyond the normal, can greatly benefit. And the cool thing is that this particular firm did go ahead with this. Within the first year, they had 10 accountant offices set up. So I don't know what they charge exactly. That wasn't part of me, but if they charged 50 grand, and I suggested, that's $500,000 right there. And
Wow.
additional money that could have been just by offering a cloud-based service.
So this is a whole different way for people to be taking a look at how to run their business. Jeremy, that's excellent information. And thanks a lot for sharing that with us.
No problem. Thank you.